up in the front seat, get my meals, I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come on with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping, I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by my guy Spenny.
What up, though?
We got young Chris, Uncle Nick.
Let's go.
Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. Sorry, I just got a personal message about today's thumbnail, which is pretty effing funny. Carlton Davis says Ice Spice. Carlton Davis, I did not make the thumbnails.
You requested this as the thumbnail.
I requested something immediately after, though, to be fair.
But this is what you asked for first.
No, I said never mind,
Carlton
do this
Davis
one.
on Ice Spice. This is exactly
I said
what you
me
asked.
on Ice Spice and you on Taylor Swift.
After you said Carlton Davis on
But what did I
Ice
say last? I said what I wanted.
Spice. No, you said.
And I said you on Taylor Swift and me on Ice Spice. Gangbang. Pause. That's not really a pause situation. Sorry guys, I'm a little flustered because I was watching Carlton Davis speak. He's at the podium. Was at the podium for the Detroit Lions. Got a couple good quotes out of there. I got one specific video I did send to Chris. I don't know if you got it in yet.
Yeah, I do.
It just happened. Spenny, you got your headphones in?
I do.
Nick, you got your headphones in?
Let's rock.
Maybe it's just a me thing, but you're going to want to hear this. I like this one. Go ahead and run the tape, Chris.
Interesting.
Man, you about to get a lockdown corner. You about to be able to have one side just like, unavailable. That's what I do. I'm here to take out the number one receiver on any team. I'm here to deny the ball. I'm here to take the ball away.
Let Carl cook. Let Carl cook. And there's one trait that Spenny and myself, we both believe in, great cornerbacks have or possess, and that's confidence. And my man, right off rip, had that to say. And I know that we have guys in this team that no. CJ probably was the only one talking shit like that, for being honest with you, on this football team. I'm no longer with the football team. We'll get to that a little bit later. But that's just one trait you need to have to be a great cornerback. And at one time, he was considered that. And obviously, he's still only 27, by the way. Had a couple off years, or I guess last year would be the one off year that he had for sure. But most of that's due to like a little bit of the schematics change they had too. And man coverage, which he went on to say too, that's where he's going to eat. And to quote what he said, put on the tape. And I've been trying to tell people that. For the past 2 days, but put on the tape. You'll see it. In man coverage, my man Carlton Davis eats. And what does AG like to do? That man coverage.
He likes that man coverage.
I mean, pause if that needed that one. But what was your takeaway from the lockdown?
That's what we said. You guys all yelled at us for saying it, but that's what we said. This is why you brought this guy in. He is going to be the guy that lines up one-on-one with the number one receiver on the other team. He is going to be the guy you put in man coverage on an island against another receiver. That's what he does. And I know you guys didn't believe it when we first traded for him, and you were coming at us in the comments and on Twitter and everything, but that's what he does. You brought him in here because you didn't have this last year. You didn't have a big body guy that you can line up comfortably against the number one receiver on the outside, and that is a cornerback one. That's what a cornerback one does for a team. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to have a guy that I feel confident with putting on an island.
I think it allows AG to do a lot more things too, because I think he's like more flexible to blitz certain guys that typically you wouldn't have to, because when you do that, what do? You leave your cornerbacks on an island when you blitz those safeties. And now you have a guy that, okay, maybe you don't want to say that, and no one's saying that he is Jalen Ramsey in his prime at all whatsoever. But what they're saying is he at least allows you to do these things. You're at least more comfortable doing these things. And that's what when AG got to do what he liked to do last year and turn it on and send it to Melifonwu, who was amazing at it, by the way, on those blitzes, the defense was night and day. It really was, man.
It changed everything. It changed everything, that blitzing from the backfield, because the defensive line, and we talked about it a million times, just wasn't able to get enough pressure. So with upgraded defensive line, which you hope is continuing to be upgraded this offseason, plus this addition, this defense has no excuse to not be a top half, maybe even borderline top 10 defense in the NFL.
Aaron, hold your horses there.
But
you getting carried away.
Man,
You getting carried away.
Hold on. You wear shades on in the building for a press conference? I mean, come on.
That's facts. Hey, somebody's got to give him some buffs, by the way. Nick?
Yeah, no doubt there. What that presser just reminded me of, or that clip, was when Dan Campbell started speaking for the first time. Where's the
Yes.
where's the nearest brick wall? 'Cause I'm running through it. This dude's confidence, I mean, it obviously speaks volumes. So this is the type of guy you want in that secondary specifically, but a leader on this defense. That's the kind of confidence that I want going forward.
And I kind of want to reiterate it too, just because of like, there's a lot of overreactions to the free agency, and I just want to like, and that's why I kind of want to spend like this first segment doing, is if there are doubters listening, and I hope that you guys are, because you need to hear these things. Shout out to my boy JT, by the way, who hit me up last night and said, "What the fuck's Brad doing?" We got to be patient. Like currently, the crown jewel for agency is DJ Reader, in my mind at least. I think on a lot of people's lists that keep up with like the National Football League, right? He's visiting Detroit this week. He's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have these conversations. Dan Campbell's been in the Super Bowl. AG, who's been in the Super Bowl, actually won Super Bowls with part of the coaching staff. Be able to flash a little bit of jewelry there too. You like having that on your staff. That's the crown jewel for agency right now. He's coming to Detroit tomorrow.
Oh, it's interesting.
It is, right? And it's not over. The other thing too, what happens every single year around training camp? Guys start getting cut. Mm-hmm. Guys with names, guys with cachet, guys with resume. We have to wait and see the entire process out. And then, because the one that got me, and you were tagged in it too, actually the guy went out of his way to tag you in a reply to me, that the Detroit Lions are no longer winning the NFC North. What are we doing, guys? This is the same team that won the NFC North comfortably last year. Secured it on Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. You got better. Like, we added to that defense. We added to this team.
Yeah.
The only piece we lost was the guy in CJDJ who didn't even play for us last year. We were adding to a team that just won the division. Why are you guys freaking out like this?
It's Lions fans are jumping off the ledge because they didn't get Daniil Hunter, and saying they're not going to win the North next year is just stupid. Like, come on, guys. Yeah, the other teams got better, but so did we. They're adding to this team too. You don't think their draft class is going to help? You don't think Carlton Davis is going to help? They're going to add a defensive lineman. Don't worry. They're talking with DJ Reader. They're in communication with Armstead. Like, the first day of free agency isn't the end of free agency. You can make more deals outside of the first day of free agency. Like, it's not the end. It's not written in stone that they're not going to get a defensive lineman. I guarantee they get a defensive lineman in free agency that makes an impact on this team next year. There's a reason they only got 3 defensive tackles on the roster right now. Like, they're adding one of them. And if it's DJ Reader, I hope it's DJ Reader, and I would love for it to be DJ Reader.
And then the other thing, too, Nick just said it, right? And everyone feels this way. It feels like every time we've had somebody from an opposing fan base that covers a team come on this show, a comment they always make is how they hold Dan Campbell in high regard. Nick just spoke on it the first time he heard Dan Campbell speak. He wanted to run through a wall. That's the impression of Dan Campbell all around. DJ Reader's coming to Detroit to meet Dan Campbell tomorrow. He's not leaving. I mean, he might have to leave, go get a couple of the things he got in Cincy.
I'm not fucking leaving.
But he ain't leaving. I've been saying this since the beginning of free agency, and maybe a little bit beforehand too. DJ Reader, your Detroit line. If anybody listening, DJ Reader's going to be a Detroit line. He's coming here tomorrow. Dan Campbell's going to woo him. Brad Holmes going to wow him. And then he's going to line him up and power him. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but hey, it came out that way. No, I want it. I just want people to calm down. Like, this is the third day of free agency. A lot of inactivity the past 2 days specifically. You saw a couple moves go down the first day. I think Derrick Henry's probably the biggest move from yesterday. Nothing today. That's all like punters and shit coming out today.
Yeah.
Mike Williams got cut.
And yeah.
Maybe we talk a little bit something like that. I think there is a conversation to be had there, but it's slow pace for everybody. It's slow pace around the league right now. Like who else is out there? Calvin Ridley, who is expected to return to the Jaguars. But it's slow pace right now for everybody. I think everyone just needs to calm down. And actually, one other thing too, Chris, I sent this in the chat in Slack. And I don't remember who put it out there. I just saw it in a tweet. Maybe it was Brad Holmes Bowles. Shout out. But it's a correlation of money spent the first day of free agency to team success. You got that graph there, Chris?
Yeah, right here.
Check this out. All right. Oh, my eyes are bad. I'm pretty sure on the left, on the y-axis is amount spent, and then on the x-axis is we're looking at like wins.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Chiefs are right there. But
Jags and Jets, basically.
Yeah, but the Chiefs are
under.
but
they're under. Yeah,
Chiefs
you're right.
are under the median amount
You're
spent.
absolutely right. And the Patriots
You
just
look at
over.
the teams with the most wins, most of them are under the median amount spent.
Yeah.
Steelers, Green Bay, Seahawks, Chiefs, Patriots as of 2001 or whatever that says.
I think it's 2012.
The Ravens,
2011?
2012.
2012.
the Colts, the only teams that are in the top half of money spent with a lot of wins are the Saints, the Broncos, and the Bills.
And speaking of Calvin Ridley, just breaking news here real quick. He did just sign a 4-year deal with the Tennessee Titans. 4 years, $92 million, $50 million guaranteed.
That is such a Tennessee Titans move.
That is such a Tennessee Titans move.
Oh, my God.
They do have a guy in a rookie deal in Will Levis. Not even a first-round rookie deal, so I mean, they can't afford to make it happen right now. And he's got an arm on him, so maybe that shakes.
The dynamic duo of it, is it Tony Pollard and who you just said there right there? I'm blanking. My bad.
Tony
Ridley?
Pollard and
Tony
Calvin
Pollard.
Ridley.
Yeah, that's who they're pairing with Will Levis.
Yep.
I am not fearing that if I'm a defense, to be honest.
Real quick, too, I'll confess losing my cool yesterday about the Daniel Hunter thing, just because like that contract was ridiculous for what he is as a player. 24 and a half, like that is a hell of a discount for a guy. But obviously, you come to find out that he's from, he grew up in Katy, Texas, and gave them the whole town discount, and state tax too. Like that adds up. We just weren't on an equal footing in that race.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It carries on. You got a reaction to the Calvin Ridley contract? I thought he was going back to the Jags. It was $95 million, 4 years, $95
4 years,
million.
$95 million for Calvin Ridley.
92.
Well, I mean, we saw that happen with Christian Kirk. You remember when Christian Kirk got that contract? Now everybody's like, damn, that's what happens. Wide receivers make money in this league now. So it's not too crazy. Wide receivers are going to get paid. If you're a good one, we just saw what Gabe Davis got. Bourne got $11 million a year for the Patriots. Like, wide receivers are going to get money. So
Straight cash, homie.
I'm not going to be shocked by any wide receiver contract.
I don't remember who I know. Actually, no, I do. It was a guy I actually kind of like, Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Who has 1,000-yard year in his career. Kind of shitty quarterbacks. Like,
He just went to the
benefit of the doubt. Just went to the Falcons. $13 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
A year or per
That's
year.
what happens, man.
Like, bro,
Those
what?
guys are getting paid more than Derrick Henry.
That is crazy.
Darnell Mooney is making more money than Derrick Henry.
So, and put that a little bit in perspective, just in terms of like how the cap weighs out. Carlton Davis is getting 14, and that's like your CB1. The guy's supposed to be like your CB1. That's their backup, maybe for sure wide receiver 2 at the very least.
Yeah,
getting 13. Like that's like perspective. That 14 minutes, that's really not that much for what he's going to be to this Detroit Lions team. Which, again, call himself a lockdown corner. If you guys miss it, make sure to rewind.
Yeah, I love that.
If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button. Nick, we're about to say something else too.
I just want to say before we move on, honestly, I still am a little disappointed though with the Hunter thing. I just think it would have been perfect to pair with Hutch, and I think even if it's all guaranteed, maybe give him 27. I don't know. I guess we were going up against it, but I think it is still okay to be disappointed if some of the listeners are.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed too. It just, he weren't going to lose. He wanted to go home. I mean, 2 years, 24 and a half, that's what he wanted to do, man.
I think it just bothers Lions fans extra too, because this is finally a team that's worth being able to get the big fish free agent. Like, this is a team that can make the sexy splash in free agency. That's not something that Detroit's normally been able to do. So Brad Holmes going about it, which I believe is the right way, a calculated way in managing his assets and maximizing the value of everything he has. But I can see why fans get so attached to getting Snead, getting Hunter, and granted, those are players I'd like to have, but I get why they're so fixated on this, because this is the first time they can say, without sounding crazy, hey, the Lions are going to get the top cornerback on the market. Hey, the Lions will get the top edge rusher on the market. So I think that's really what it is this is a new kind of thing for them. We say it all year. It's a brand new Lions. So I think that's kind of a little bit of it.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. Do you want to go to break real quick?
Yeah, we can go to break.
You want to talk about Planet Fitness?
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. Get all this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports?
Yeah.
Merch.
It's a new era in sports wearables, new design, amazing appeal, the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at WoodwardSports.com. Click the shop tab. They got hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn the heads. So head on over to WoodwardSports.com, click the shop tab, and get yourself some brand new.
Hey. First and foremost, what up, though, and thank you for joining us. Secondly, just dolo me and fix me, or just like do 2 camp an hour if you can't.
Yeah, I know. I'm good.
Driving Spenny crazy.
Yeah.
He's twitching.
He fucking comes in here 5 minutes before our show, fucks everything
It's
up.
all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Eat a fucking
Smash
dick.
the like
It's
button.
not.
Don't do what he said. You calm down. It's all right.
that guy.
It's not that big of a deal.
No, it is. It's fucking
It's
annoying.
annoying.
Yeah, but
Took
it's
me
not
45 minutes to drive from Royal Oak.
Make sure you guys smash that like button. 5-star review on podcast platforms. I saw a couple comments on Woodward Sports chat. I was tagged in a couple things throughout the day when it comes to like the LA Chargers releasing or fixing their salary cap situation with Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. It's not happening. Khalil Mack restructured his deal and they cut Mike Williams. Nick, did you want any of those guys? You're the one that asked. I think it was yesterday.
I posed the question yesterday. I'm disappointed about Khalil Mack, just like I am Hunter. I want an elite edge to pair with Hutch that is a veteran. I would love that for this team, and I think it would transform this defense to a whole nother level. The Chargers are smart to keep him because I think Jim Harbaugh is going to figure that team out. You can let out a guy like Mike Williams. I mean, you have a top 5 pick to maybe go out and get a guy like Brock Bowers. I know your favorite guy coming out of the draft.
It's your favorite guy.
Yeah, I think Khalil Mack not being on the market is a big hit for the Lions. I would have loved him to pair with Hutch.
The Chargers had 4 of the top 5 cap hits in football for non-quarterbacks going into next season, so they had to get rid of some of them. And Mike Williams was the odd guy out. Also, Mike Williams eats shit, man. I would have won a fantasy championship if it wasn't for you getting hurt every fucking week.
Fucked up.
But I didn't think Khalil Mack was going to happen. Did I have hopes that Danielle Hunter was going to happen? Yes. Was I devastated by it? No. I believe in Brad Holmes, and I believe in DJ Reader. And I think DJ Reader will do more for Aiden Hutchinson than Khalil Mack would have, or than Danielle Hunter would have.
DJ Reader.
DJ Reader is the
Hide your
guy
lunch blocks.
that is literally solely responsible for Trey Hendrickson having 17.
You're just being really disrespectful to Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson's a butt. No, I'm just kidding. But Trey Hendrickson, if you brought him on the show and sat him down and said, hey,
absolutely,
we're offensive lines paying less attention to you because you had a mammoth of a human being right next to you, like, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
When you have a guy that can't be blocked one-on-one, it's going to take away blockers that are trying to attack Aiden Hutchinson. That is going to immediately help. If, like I said, if we sign DJ Reader and he plays 15-plus games, Aiden Hutchinson will have 17 sacks at least next year.
That's exactly kind of where I wanted to go with. Actually, we did have something else in this, but I kind of want to just like ease Nick, or hopefully I can like make you comfortable. If we do get DJ Reader, that's what you've been on the show, right? And like when we asked, we had the debate actually last week, I think it was. Like, who would rather like put on this defensive line right now, a defensive tackle or another defensive edge? It's defensive tackle for that very reason, and that's what we're still like working with. And like if we get that piece, I'm telling you, it's gonna open up worlds for Aiden Hutchinson, who is officially Tinder 2 now. I'm pretty sure. That got sent to me from Justin Rogers, James Houston, who took him forever. It's like last minute to Tinder. That was kind of I got a little freaked out by that. But no, that defensive lineman in the middle, it's exactly what he's gonna do. DJ Reader specifically. Actually, let's just jump into the DJ Reader topic. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Because we have some tape on him too, Chris. You can put up either one first. It doesn't matter. I'll just go off of whatever you put up. But we have just 2 plays. And shout out to Al. This is actually, I stole this from Al's Twitter. There's other one I wanted to steal from Dose of Dion's, but I kind of felt weird stealing from Dose of Dion, so I wanted to get my own, but I ended up playing with my son Bryson either way. But I just want to get one of him just demolishing a polling guard. And then I also want to get this too. So which one was this? DJ Reader, if you look, he's going to be on the right side of the line against the right tackle.
My right or your right?
Right here. He's going to stop the run. Boom. In the backfield. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be a little bit more zoomed in, but it's
Here, give me a second. I can
no, you're fine. This angle's better. Or this angle's just as good. This angle's a little bit better, actually. He's right there. Right. Look at that. Boom.
Yeah.
Blows the right tackle.
He's ugly, and he makes plays, man.
And then makes a play on the running back in the backfield. Like, he's doing that by himself in solo blocks. Like, so it's more than just, like, commanding the double team. I mean, obviously, you know why he needs to be double teamed because of that play right there. And I hope, Nick, I hope you saw it. But that's why you need to double team this guy. Because if he's not, he's going to be the one to make the play. And we spoke about something. You asked something specifically a few weeks ago where it's like, hey, how do we stop these running quarterbacks? Like,
Yes.
like what are we going to do to stop these running quarterbacks? One, I don't know if you really can. That's like one of the cool things about him. Not cool things, but attribute of a quarterback that can do that. Mm-hmm. But my answer,
plug up holes.
Yes, interiorly, get that defensive lineman, that's pressure on the inside, because you're not going to be able to just run through it like that. And then obviously you got Aiden Hutchinson. If he's going to scamper away from him, he's going to go out there on the outside and slam him to the ground.
And everybody complaining about the injury. He's not going to be back until week 6. He's injured. He's gone. I spoke with our injury expert, Dr. Jeff Pierce, about the injury that happened in week 15. Week 15 of the season. So that's, 3 weeks before the playoffs. He's been on the mend for a while. Dr. Pierce said a torn quad is not much for a guy his size.
Dr. Pepper said.
Dr. Jeff Pierce, the guy who deals with sports injuries on a daily basis, said for a guy his size, a torn quad is not tough to come back from, and he should be fine for the season to start.
Nick, were you going to say something?
I mean, that's right up Brad's alley, but you cannot deny the fact that he's missed 11 games. I mean, 2 games is pretty good for a defensive tackle, and then 7 games in 3. Like, that is kind of a guy that's following a pattern, but you clearly have no concern at all that he will be 100% back.
Yes.
I mean, we all know Brad loves to get a little bargain deal if he can. So if
How
he can
about
get
2
him,
torn quads, said Andrew Jones. Well, 2 different quads being torn? Yeah, no, it's fine. He tore one a couple of years ago, and then he tore one last year. Like, they didn't both happen on the same time to the same quad. He's not dealing with 2 torn quad injuries.
Well, it just makes him more appealing to Brad Holmes.
it really does.
Brad Holmes like, hold up, you said you got hurt? Shit, where you hurt you, shawty?
It wasn't a injury that's gonna make him. Somebody said he's not gonna be back until week 6. That's just not true. Like, he'll be good to go to start the season.
I don't know when he's going to be good to go. I'm not going to speculate on that. I just know what he is when he is healthy. He's a damn good defensive tackle, one of the best in the league. Actually, we have this tweet from a guy, Al, as well, too. And these are just like for the PFF nerds out there, because these are just rankings where, like, I'm not in love with the rankings, but it kind of gives you an idea of where this guy is. If you mind throwing that one up, Chris. Every year.
Yeah.
Within the top 10 or just outside. When ranking nose tackles across, interior defensive lineman. Mm-hmm. But we want him specifically, for me at least, is that of a nose tackle. The only year he finished outside the top 10 was last year, and it was at 11. And if you guys know, like, PFF grades, like, some people see a 70 and they're like, damn, that's actually pretty solid. Like a 70 grade. These are within the 80s.
Read that last sentence. Consistently the NFL's best nose tackle not named Dexter Lawrence. Oof. I understand, like, you guys... Some people on Twitter don't know who DJ Reader is because they don't watch football and they call him a bum and different things like that. Like,
no,
you guys liked really happy with Benito Jones out there. You guys were really happy with Tyson Alualu.
Hold on, someone called him a bum.
They're calling him trash. Yeah, he put out an apology video.
Oh,
but this is a guy who is top 5 at his position in the NFL.
Yep.
And if you can get him in here, he will immediately have an impact at how much Aiden Hutchinson and Ali McNeil have to deal with from opposing offensive lines, on how effective Ali McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson are at getting to the passer, because you put the mammoth of a man in the middle, and it's a perfect fit.
One other thing too.
William Rhodes, he's coming in tomorrow to Detroit to interview with the Detroit Lions.
Yes. We also have this, because he provides more than just being a block eater. Obviously, you saw him shed a block in the backfield. But look at this. He also has a bag of pass rush moves. I don't even need to point to you where he's at in that one. He's the first guy off his block. Look at this. And if you don't, he's on the left side this time. Interior defensive lineman. Boom. Shut him right there.
Yeah. And
remember, you saw this from Lee McNeil last year, too.
He doesn't get sacks. He doesn't do this. He's not supposed to get sacks. It's not his job to get sacks. His job is to be an eater who eats it for lunch. We should have put him on Ice Spice. Because he's supposed to be an eater who eats it for lunch. He's supposed to get those double teams. He's supposed to take the pressure away from the guys who are actually going to go after the quarterback, like Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson. The two guys who are probably the best sack artists on your team outside of James Houston.
Yeah, he's more than, like, and again, what he said is absolutely what I've been asking for the entire season. Like, even if you were to just take away the description or take away DJ Reader's name, the description of what he does is what I've been asking to put next to Aleem McNeil and inside of Aiden Hutchinson pause all off season. Yeah. I know. I don't know how else to put that.
The other side
on
of
the interior. On the interior.
You just say in between Aleem and Hutch.
Yeah, but what if he's not in between? What if Hutch is on the other side? What if Hutch is on the same side as Aleem? What do I say then?
It's just
on the interior.
They'll figure it out.
Don't say inside.
They'll figure it out.
Hey, DJ Reader tomorrow. Detroit, I'm inside of you.
Yeah. I'd be happy with it.
He's a dog, bro. You're not blocking this man one-on-one. And if you do, there's consequences for it. And if you're blocking him with two human beings, hey, Aleem McNeil, who just, kind of emerged, not want to say emerged this year, but had a breakout year in some form or fashion before the injury. He's there too, and he's also going to get better. Yep. Like last year, Justin Matabuke, I looked at it because I was like, "What the? Where did this guy come from?" 14 sacks, Matabuke last year from the interior, and I saw someone come from on the outside too. But I looked at him the years prior just to see like what kind of trajectory he was on. Very, very, very similar to Aleem McNeil.
Yes,
and that is that year for Aleem next year. On top of putting DJ Reader next to him, on top of Aiden Hudson, who the world seems to love. And then I'm sorry, like the advanced analytic world seems to love.
Yeah, why did you say you don't love him?
No, I love him. I just like when he was ranked over Chris Jones.
Yeah,
and shots fired.
Yeah, that shit was just crazy to me. And I'm not hating on Aiden Hutchinson. I'm just like, people have him higher than I do. That's it. But regardless, he's a dog. And speaking of dogs, we'll be joined by one shortly. I have to get a link out to him, and that's our guy, John Kosko.
And let me tell you about Lady Jane's. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, a hot leather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 20 Metro Detroit locations, Lady Jane's, there's always one near you. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
What up, though, and welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on WoodsportsSports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by my guys from Rex.
What up, though?
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
We'll be joined shortly by John Kosko. You got to get him another link to join the show. And I guess in the meantime, because one of the main things I want to talk with John about, and actually we can still read some comments about DJ Reader too. But we were talking about the secondary with John Kosko. And I should save this. Give it his due credit.
Save it.
Save it? Because there's somebody who's no longer a Detroit Lion. But skip that. We got brand new Detroit Lions. We're discussing with John Kosko from PFF. John. Oh, you said you sent the link.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, apologize. My bad. Speed, take over so I can send that link to John.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Bo Gargis in the Woodward Sports Chat said, I want to Lehman DJ inside at the same time. Pass. Pause. But yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Also pass.
You know what?
Pass.
Let me hit that.
It sounds pretty good. Like that would be a nice combination in the middle of that defensive line. And I liked what Benito Jones did for us last year, but that's not someone I want consistently playing that interior defensive line when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. A guy like DJ Reader would definitely be better. Be better to have in there than Tyson Alualu or I don't even remember half of the guys we had in there. It was just a rotating doors of dudes coming off of the bench. So having a solidified person in that spot would be amazing. And that frees you up, again, to do what Brad does in the draft, to draft whoever the hell you want. Draft whoever the hell is the best player available if you fill that hole.
Poe Garius Sports Chat. I want to leave in deep. Oh, okay. All right,
100%. I just read that.
Oh, did you? Well, I'm obviously, you know I'm working on something over here.
Nice.
Don't cry about it. 313 Kurt.
100%. Just no, I'm just kidding.
You read that one too?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he said we had 1 out of 3 free agents that played last season because of injury. I don't want to sign anybody that's hurt.
You already signed 2 people that are hurt, so.
And traded for 1.
Yeah. It's. Get over it, buddy. It's gonna happen. We're making it happen.
They're coming.
It's gonna happen. They're coming. And I remember when I said this. Everybody in the chat was yelling at me. Well, Brad Holmes doesn't like to sign injured players. You're just making that up.
They were yelling at you for saying that.
Yeah.
How could you? You're not making that up. How can anyone say you're making that up? It's very blatant.
I don't know. Yeah, people are coming at. Who else did he sign that was injured? You know who else signs injured players? My mom. But I'm just saying, if these guys stay healthy, you got a squad. You got a nice little defense over there. But you got to add an interior defensive lineman or an edge rusher. And the edge rushing ranks are getting a little thin right now.
Yes.
So they are in talks, obviously, with DJ Reader. He's coming in tomorrow. There are reports out there that they're talking with Nick's boy Armstead. Nick, who would you rather have?
Honestly, they're right on par with me, but I like the fact that Armstead has really showed out in the playoffs when he has been there. And I like that he's a captain first. I know Reader's a captain as well, which I think really fits in with what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell like to do. I like the fact that they both have a lot of experience. That's what I want for this team. Like, I will keep sounding like a broken record. I do not want to rely on a rookie on this defensive line to be a game changer for us. I do believe Armstead and Reader could both be game changers on this defense that open things up for others. I mean, we've seen the success that guys like Bosa or a guy like Hendrickson have had because of this. I think both guys would open up a lot of things for Aiden Hutchinson. Honestly, I really do. Yeah. He has massive size. Shout out Brendan Dillinger in the chat.
He does have massive size.
Tonnage.
He does have massive size. That is a guy that, like I said, that's what you expect him to be. He doesn't need to put up the sack numbers. He doesn't need to put up the pressure numbers. If he's taking 2 dudes at the same time, that's all that matters.
Jesus.
Pause. He needs to be an eater. We need an eater. We don't have a guy right now in there that you're like, all right, we have to allocate a couple blockers to him or he's going to make our quarterback's life hell. Because if we put just a center or just a guard on him, he's going to push that dude into the lap of our quarterback. That's going to make things easier for Aiden Hutchinson and Lee McNeil.
Yeah, pulling up Armstead's career playoff stats: 12 games, 8 sacks, 6 TFLs, 38 tackles. And that big, I mean, I do like the pressure up the middle when it matters most, and that's in the playoffs. And honestly, I think that's a big key. I mean, 12 career postseason games. All that they've done in San Francisco is produce W's. So I think that's a big guy confidence-wise to add to this room.
And we saw Lee McNeil last year have a, like you said, somewhat of a breakout season if he didn't get injured.
Breakout season for sure.
That was with guys that nobody knew next to him.
Yeah.
That was with guys that nobody had to worry about next to him.
Guys really scraped
Now
up the
Ali
practice
McNeil
squads.
is going to see one-on-one every single snap if you get DJ Reader. Imagine what he's going to do then.
Speaking of DJ Reader, he's also being pursued by the Cleveland Browns, which our guy John Costco, he's a fan of. I guess since we're on the topic, John, I know that you've been. Whoa! Is this a Lions jersey?
Oh,
hey!
Barry Sanders.
Okay,
Barry
let's
Sanders,
go.
yeah.
Lions fan.
Hey, man, appreciate that, man. Hey, I know I brought you on to talk a little bit about Carlton Davis and maybe even a little bit of Amik Robertson too, but Amik Robertson, I should say. But I saw you put out a tweet this week too for DJ Reader going to your team, the Browns.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway from DJ Reader? Because we have some fans here in Detroit that are sleeping on him because there aren't sack numbers. But we're trying to explain interior defensive linemen. Sometimes you just plug holes.
Yeah, sack numbers lie, I would say. Just they will generally lie when it comes to especially defensive interior players, but even edge rushers, they'll lie in terms of how the quality of the play that they're having. Obviously, sacks are a big part of the game, and they make their big splash plays that, essentially end drives, but they don't tell the whole story because let's say, the difference of I take the example of Myles Garrett and TJ Watt because they're always talked about as two of the best, obviously, but who's better and who, Myles Garrett for us was better. Myles Garrett had 16 sacks this year, but TJ Watt had 20. If you just go off of that number, yeah, you'd say that TJ Watt was a better player this year, but that they both had near 1,000 snaps this year, and you're going to go off of a 4-snap difference of who the better player was when you got to look at the pressure rate. You've got to look at how they're being utilized, how often they're being double teamed, what the offense is kind of scheming away from them. So there's a lot more that goes into play with that. And yeah, DJ Reader has been a phenomenal player for the Bengals when he's healthy and on the field. And just because he doesn't get sacks doesn't mean he's not getting pressure. He's not making an impact in the run game. So he's an all-around quality player that would, for any team, really, I think that from a value standpoint, be one of the better defensive tackle signings of this free agency period.
Our guy Chris in the CD booth, he's casually watched football the past 2 years since working with us. He's kind of gone hardcore. He made a statement that the Detroit Lions could propel into a top 10 defense with the acquisition of DJ Reader. I just got to get your take on it because you know football better than anybody here right now. Well, you study it more than us for sure.
Well, I think you look at the Lions last year. They were an improved defense from the year before, and it's that kind of started in the middle of the 2022 season where they had some coaching changes. They made some personnel changes there as well. But basically, they revamped their entire secondary last year. Obviously, they're making some more moves to improve that again this year because you can't rest your laurels on how good you were the year before, especially on defense, because there's always going to be changes of way. Teams have a full offseason to see who are the weak points on your team, and you really can't. There's a lot of uncertainty that comes with the secondary. So they did a really good job last offseason, I thought, of improving the team, and I think they're doing the same. Carlton Davis, he's a guy that he plays well. I think he shadows a lot of number one wide receivers. Does he shut them down? No, I don't think that's probably a role he should be doing. I think don't force him into a role that maybe he's not elite at or anything like that. But I think he's a quality player. From a grading perspective, he's not he grades elite or anything like that. But he's not a liability out there. He has some weaknesses and stuff like that. But I think if you were to add, a DJ Reader, would that make you a top 5 defense right off the bat? Probably. I don't know. Maybe not. But they're already a good defense, and you'd make a really good defense better. And maybe that vaults them into the top 5 this year. But I think it's a whole package thing that of the moves that the Lions are making that make them better as from year over year.
And a lot of Lions fans are worried about the Brad Holmes going to injury-prone players or injury players that in these past 3 free agent signings that he's made this year or potentially going to make this year with DJ Reader, but you look at Davenport that he brought in and Carlton Davis, both have suffered injuries in the past and have dealt with injuries. Is that something that concerns you with guys that they're bringing in that maybe they're not going to be seeing the field, or is that just anybody can get injured, you can't think of it too much?
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. There's been a lot of studies done on it and research done on it where when somebody gets hurt, maybe they have a track record of getting hurt, but really I think it's you bring them into a situation where you think you can maybe provide better medical care, better training staff type of thing that can help, maybe with soft tissue injuries. And, you can see it on certain teams like the Chargers, for example. They traditionally get more injured than other teams. And that's probably has to do with directly on what's going on in their team, what the facilities they have there, whereas other teams will have a better track record of not being hurt. So I think, I don't think it has anything really to do with the individual player. Sometimes they are, injury prone, but it's really kind of more of a fluke thing. And guys can, you saw it for a couple of years. Christian McCaffrey was injury prone for the last 2 years he was with Carolina. All of a sudden he's no longer injury prone when he goes to the 49ers. Like, I think it's one of those things where, the different places you go to, you're able to better take care of your body. The training staff there is able to help, mitigate injuries that you might have.
Christian McCaffrey helps he's not carrying the freaking team on his back like he was in Carolina. I have a real quick question too when it comes to like Carlton Davis, because he's kind of brought in to be like our cornerback one. How much of an upgrade is he versus a guy like Cam Sutton in your eyes?
It's Cam Sutton's a good player, and they're both good players. So you're hoping that Cam Sutton, I think, had a down year this past year, and I think you're bringing him in to be, maybe a guy that can help alleviate some of that type of pressure off. Right, he's a guy that can play in press man. He can travel from both, one side to the other. Like we've seen that with him channeling ones, and maybe you don't want him to do that, but he's a guy that can play a high percentage of man snaps, and he can, lock down on good wide receivers. So, I think when it comes to the secondary, I'm not looking at it as we got to replace this guy or whatever. I think I look at it as we want quality players in that secondary and bodies in that secondary, because it's a position that can get, guys can get hurt. And you need to be able to stop these opposing offenses that have these prolific wide receivers. And I think the more bodies you throw at it, you see it year after year. You talk about when teams win the Super Bowl or make it to the Super Bowl or even have a potential contention for that, they're talking about their secondary and how good that secondary was that year. Look at the Chiefs. They're highlighted by, obviously, Chris Jones is a stud on the defensive interior, but Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, two of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, really kind of transformed their defense in terms of what they were able to do. And if you can find guys like that and then not have the weak links behind them, I think that's really what it comes down to for the secondary is really patching up any sort of weak links that you might have.
And another guy that the Detroit Lions added was Amik Robertson. This is a guy from the Raiders that has done a lot of different things. The Lions have shown that they're very happy with versatile players in that defensive backfield, like Cam Sutton. They went out and got a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They drafted a Brian Branch. Now they add Amik Robertson. Where do you see him at his best in that defensive backfield? What position would he be at where he's thriving the most?
He's going to be mostly a slot guy, but he can move inside and outside. I wouldn't say that he's he's kind of starting to come into his own in the last 2 years in the NFL. His first 2 years in the NFL, he struggled, I would say. He didn't play much, obviously, but when he was on the field, he didn't perform. He's a guy that's also, you can rely on him on the special teams. He was one of the higher graded special teams players last year, so he's probably going to have a good role in that for the Lions. And then, I think, he's a guy that you can bring into the slot. He's a guy that if you have him there, you can make Brian Branch more movable in your secondary and have the matchups that you want with Brian Branch rather than, this maybe only having him in the slot. He's a guy that can be moved around a bit. So I think he brings that versatility that allows more versatility with Brian Branch, who was awesome this year for you guys. I thought he was, he is one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. Especially already, as a rookie, and he's only going to get better. So I think for him, he allows, just more versatility in that secondary, and it brings that veteran presence of he can play the slot, he can play the out wide, and you can have the matchups that you want there.
Speaking of veteran presence, for some reason, a lot of people here in Detroit seem to credit Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with the turnaround of the team rather than Dan Campbell, who's been here since the start. It's a whole side quest there, but What do you make of like the emergence of Afonso Melifonwu, who kind of pushed CJ into that rotational role to where now he's no longer with Detroit and went to pursue a starting role and more money in Philadelphia? Like, how has that emergence been to you? And it's for the Lions fans to kind of settle their nerves. Afonso Melifonwu, would you put him on that CJ level, or maybe even somewhat above for what we got going on here?
He's a guy that he's emerging, right? Like he had a breakout year in 2023. You're talking about, obviously he didn't play as many snaps in his first 2 years. This year he had 356 in coverage, was a 75.8 in that role. 535 snaps for the season with an 82 grade, which is phenomenal. I mean, he's a guy that you can, he didn't pass rush much, but he in his pass rushes he was great. He was getting after the quarterback with a lot of pressures just on 20 pass rush snaps. So he's a guy that he's another movable chess piece that you can have for your secondary. And I think his emergence allows you to stay young and be cheaper in the secondary positions because the more value you can get out of your players, the better. He's a guy that I think. When you look at his positions, he played in the slot, he played out wide, he was, he could play in free, he was in the box. So you moved him all over the place, and he was successful everywhere he was able to play. And I think just adding more versatile pieces like you have is just going to make him, he allows him to be put into the better positions that he can play, and just make you never want to like be pigeonholed into. This is where we're going to be lined up, and this is how we're going to line up every play. You want to be able to move these pieces around and always confuse what the quarterback is looking at, and it just allows him to do that because with his emergence and the additions that you've made, especially like Amik Robertson.
And a lot of Detroit Lions fans throw quite a hefty amount of shade on Aaron Glenn for what his defense looks like and what mainly his passing defense, because the run defense has been so great. Now that we see him get some of the guys that fit his system, like a Carlton Davis, like an Amik Robertson, and adding an Afonso Melifonwu, who he was sending as a blitzing demon in the second half when he started getting in there, do you believe that his scheme is going to improve now that he's got his pieces in there, or is it something that he needs to adjust to the NFL?
I think he's when defensive coordinators are always going to be adjusting, right? So like that you bring in pieces that you see fit in terms of, hey, this is, I do, they're going to like a certain type of system that they run, right? Like, you're not going to always have to be able to adapt completely to, the Bill Belichick way of like having a completely different scheme week in, week out when the Patriots at their prime. You're going to have a system of how you want it. Like, you look at Pete Carroll, who's like the cover 3 type of guy, and you're not going to really change off of that. I think Aaron Glenn is going to, have his system in place where he wants to be able to have these movable pieces. And I think being able to have these guys blitz and being able to have coverage guys behind that, and so you can be aggressive. I think he likes to be aggressive, and I think you're going to see more of that, and you're going to have guys on the back end that can back up your blitzes, because the blitz isn't always going to get there, and you want to be able to cover on the back end when you do have this aggressiveness. And so I think it's going to be you're going to see a little bit of evolution of his scheme with the guys that he wants, and we'll see really kind of what comes of it, because I think year in, year out, you see it quite often. Like defensive coordinators, they could be a heavy blitz team one year, and then the next year they're middle of the pack in terms of blitz rate. So really kind of he's going to feel out his team in terms of what they can do well, and then adjust from there. I would imagine.
Real quick, we got a guy, Nick, in the sound booth. He's been he's kind of feeding for our guy, or not our guy yet, but Eric Armstead he's a big fan of. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, just talk about helping out the guys on the back end. It's up front, first of all, but talk about a guy no bigger in length of Eric Armstead. Could you see that actually being a fit for this Detroit Lions defense on the defensive line?
I'm always just a fan of getting good players, and he's a good player. He's how many years he's been in the league? 9-10 years now as a vet. Really long, big player. Can be moved around on that defensive line, all sort of places in the interior, and get after the passer. So I absolutely see him as a fit for the Lions because of what he likes to do. You can single up Aiden Hutchinson on one side, and you get the other three rushers on the other side, and then you can blitz it and drop guys and move them all over, stunt them, whatever you may do. And he's a guy that can definitely assist in that and alleviate some pressure off of Hutchinson, because you're getting a guy that can be, a high pressure rate type of guy. It's a disruptive force on the interior, and I think that absolutely could help you guys.
And then I want to ask too, just because they kind of started to pose a threat there in the back half of the season, the Packers. What have you made of their acquisitions of Xavier McKinney, Josh Jacobs, and do you think Detroit Lions fans should be a little bit nervous? I'd ask the Bears too, but they got a lot more tailoring to do through the draft and whatnot. I guess more specifically the Packers. Should we be a little bit nervous?
I mean, the biggest thing about the Packers is does Jordan Love continue his leap that he made mid season? He really made a leap into really, really quality play. I thought in the first half of the season he struggled a bit. His accuracy was like all over the place, and then in this, once he kind of settled down into that starting role, he really showed really good accuracy, ball placement, big time throws, really protected the ball pretty well. Obviously leading, the Packers into the playoffs pretty far. So I think with him, that's what it comes down to, is if he can take that next step, that's where the Packers become scary, because the addition of Josh Jacobs doesn't do anything for me. They got rid of a better running back for Josh Jacobs, I think. I thought agree. Aaron Jones is a really good running back still. Yeah, he gets hurt and stuff like that, but really when it comes down to the running back position, if you can't create yards after contact, or even beyond what the offensive line can give you, then you're kind of replaceable. Josh Jacobs is kind of that guy last year, and really, if you have an elite level offensive line, any running back can run well behind it. And I thought Aaron Jones is a better pass catcher out of the backfield than Josh Jacobs is as well. So, maybe they wanted to get younger at the position, but they paid a lot of money for that. And I think you could, you could have found other pieces there to help you with that. Xavier McKinney is a good safety. That's a good acquisition for them, and he's just going to be a good secondary piece for them. But really, I think when it comes down to the Packers, if Jordan Love is the next Aaron Rodgers, then you're going to have problems for the next decade.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's for sure. Going back to the Lions and talking about that final piece of their defensive backfield that we didn't really mention yet is Kirby Joseph, and he took a little bit of a step back in year two, maybe not play-wise, because he still was out there making plays. He's making tackles. He saved a lot of touchdown runs or receptions where players were breaking out, and he was the last line of defense and made the tackle. But he didn't have those game-breaking plays, a lot of the interceptions and big hits that we saw in year one. Do you see him taking a step forward and then in the next year, especially with some more veteran presence around him in that secondary?
It's kind of a make-or-break year for him, I'd say. Obviously, his grade as a rookie was a 64, and he dropped down to a 56.4, right? So his level of play, like you just talked about, did take a hit. He was better as a run defender, but his coverage aspect did suffer in the second year. So yeah, you bringing in more pieces, if you can get more pressure on the quarterback. Safety is a really difficult position to play in the NFL, because you're the last line of defense, and if you make a mistake, everybody on the field knows it. Whereas if you generally make a mistake as a pass rusher, you don't get home to the quarterback, you're really not looking at that aspect of it, and you're just looking at the guy that gave up this 50-yard play or whatever. So for him, I think that it is a big year to improve. He's your main free safety guy. He can be moved around in the box and in the slot a bit, but I think he needs to step up in year three. But I would not, as a Lions fan or anything, I would be looking to hope, maybe find a potential replacement for him if he can't, replicate, show some type of progression or whatever. Because, I think, the NFL, it's not for long, and it's not like you have a big, commitment to the guy. He was a third round pick into the third round. So I think it's a big year for him to really kind of step it up and show that he really belongs on a championship caliber team.
And then, John, I'm so sorry for keeping you longer than planned. I'm gonna let you get going. I just want to ask this one last question to, articulate for Lions fans. Where's the drop off from L'Jarius Sneed, who they're rumored to get, versus Carlton Davis? Like, how big of a drop-off is that?
So I think L'Jarius Sneed is a more physical cornerback that is better at shutting down number one wide receivers. I would say that the drop-off it's not significant, but I think there is a good drop-off there. And I think he is a player that, if the Lions were able to get, like, you're then stacking the secondary with really high-quality players, and you'd be really a kind of force to be reckoned with, in the NFC. To be able to stop the likes of the 49ers when, with all their weapons and stuff like that. So he's definitely, I'd say, a higher quality player. I had him in the top 20 of my cornerback rankings this year. I had Carlton Davis just in the 30s. So, I think there is a leap that you make to get to L'Jarius Sneed, and I think he does a better job of shutting down number ones.
Man, I appreciate you so much. Again, sorry for keeping you long.
Not a problem. Happy to be talking with you guys.
Thanks,
hell yeah,
Sean.
man. I was talking ball. I guess let me do this one then. How many owls would you need to see in a day before you got a little suspicious?
How many owls would I need to see in a day before I got?
Yeah.
I think need to see one, right?
My thought process on it is I see one, it's cool. I see two, it's weird. I see three or more, then I start like calling my family and making sure they're okay.
All right, yeah. You see, I get that. You see one, it's like, oh, that's really cool. You see more than that, you're just kind of like, oh, that gets weird.
Something's going on.
I don't know where that question comes from, but yeah.
We're just like
throwing
random ones in
we're
there.
asking weird draft questions.
There you go. See, I just spent a week in Bon Air, island in the Caribbean, so I was doing scuba diving and stuff like that, seeing all sorts of aquatic life that you'd never see anyways. So like,
that's awesome.
None of it's gonna be weird to me right now.
John, appreciate you so much for joining us, man. Before we let you go, why don't you let the people know if you got any articles coming out, where they can find more of your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So pff.com, I write during the season. I write the cornerback rankings every single week, and I'll write more stuff on the draft prospects. But coming out on Friday, I'll be having a piece on who the winners and losers, not the winners and losers, but most improved position groups across the NFL were after the first couple days of free agency. So
nice.
PFF.com, also Twitter account at John Costco 3.
Did the Lions make that article by chance?
I haven't started writing it actually.
Okay, my bad.
I mean, technically, free agency just started a couple hours ago.
That's
right?
fair. That is very true.
John, appreciate you.
Man. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on again.
Of course.
Thank you, man.
Dude,
shout out to John.
It's awesome.
Definitely kept it longer than I said we'd have him on. So shout out to John.
Shout out to John for sure. And shout out to the PFF guys, man. They know their shit, dude.
Yes.
Those guys, that's what they do. They
shout
eat, sleep, live, breathe football.
That's the cool thing, though, is like certain guests, you have to like just tailor your questions to like what they know, like in their wheelhouse. This guy, like DJ Reader, Eric Armstead, we just almost throw
he's got all of the.
He knew their grades.
When I brought up Kirby Joseph, he was like, "Yeah, he's a 64-year one. He dropped down to a 58-year."
Yeah, dude.
Those guys, man. That's what they live for, and you can tell because they all do fantastic work.
Absolutely. And speaking of fantastic work, we doing Jack Labrador? Swiss. My guy Mark, fantastic work at Swiss Insurance Group. Make sure you guys hit him up. Insurance rates are going up across the state of Michigan. Make sure that you're not getting screwed over by your adjusters. Hit up my guy Mark. That's Mark at SwissINS.com. And also,
Sarokis! What's better than crispy chicken and pizza while watching your favorite team play? Let me tell you about Sarokis crispy chicken and pizza. Their food is amazing and their locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit. A perfect takeout option featuring hand-breaded fried chicken, New York-style pizza, fresh salads, sides, and more. Check out their full menu and find the closest Sarokis near you at Sarokis.com. That's SAROKIS.com. Sarokis and Woodward Sports. Now that's crispy.
How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Football season is officially over and spring training is here, but Jack Labrador is 24/7, 365 days a year. Learn how to play on your phone right now, jacklabrador.gg. 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing three-point play. And remember that once you go Jack, you never go back. Go to jacklabrador.gg now and join in on the fun.
And what better way to wake up than with Wake Up Woodward? Woodward Sports has a new morning show. Oh my! Start your day with Wake Up Woodward, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports. Sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
What up? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, Spin Racks.
What up,
Chris, Unky Nick. During the interview process, not the interview process, I was hiring for a job. While we had John on, I got hit up by Broder, who was at the press conference for Carlton Davis. I haven't seen this yet. He said, I'm going to like this. And he also said FML, jokingly.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
How would you describe the way you are a leader and your leadership style to other players?
I'm a show first, talk later. You know, I hate people who want to talk and just, try to gain people's respect by just using their mouth, because honestly, action speaks louder than words. So I want to show them first, this is how you do it. And then when I speak, there'll be a lot more weight behind my words.
So that is the opposite of a guy that just left town, CJDJ. Yes, I get why he said I would like that one. Listen, I like a trash talker. Don't get me wrong. My only beef with the CJ stuff was that I was just like keep that stuff internal. It doesn't need to be a media story and turn to something else that's not. What you almost did there. But he corrected it because he felt the pressure. What?
You're the one who made it to media story.
I was not the one that made a media story. There was multiple outlets that reported that. And we reported on it then afterwards.
Easy's like, I hate when somebody makes it a media story. Well, here's the story.
But I'm just saying, if there's internal dialogue or competition or whatever, you don't need to hit the media and say I'm the vet, I'm back, rotation, all that good stuff like that. Keep that there. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't need to steamroll something else where it's unnecessary questions to your teammates. That's what it revolves into. That's what evolves into. Jesus. Took me 2 times to get that word out there.
Trevolves. All I know is we got a dog. We got a dog.
What's the other one we have from him?
You want me to play that one right now?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the other one from Kool-Aid.
You haven't played a full season in your career so far, and I don't think you've been known as that precisely. What gives you confidence that you can be that here this year?
I've done it before. I've done it taking God out of the game before, check the film. Turn on the Tampa Bay film. Turn on be against top receivers and see their stats when I'm on them, not when they're in zone, not when they're in the slot running away from me, not when I'm in zone, when I'm man-on-man press. Turn on that film, and then let me know what you think.
Not gonna lie, didn't hear a word what he said.
So it's essentially like what we were talking about earlier.
100%.
Turn on the film.
Yeah.
And you see, like, man on man.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Right.
We got a dog. We got, like I said, this isn't a guy that you had on this team last year. This is a guy you can comfortably put on the other team's best receiver. Put him out there, say, that's your guy. Go tape to him all game. That's what he does. So I love that, man. You need that. Every team needs that.
And I probably should have did this after the video from Broder. Everybody who had shit to say, I didn't know shit. He's going to be back because he carried the team. He brought aura to the team. How dare you credit Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for the aura of this team? We have Dan fucking Campbell as the main leader of it all. That shit blew my mind. But the man is gone. I don't have to hear from this bullshit fans who saw him only play 3 fucking games with the team. Maybe 4 or 5. Maybe I got that number wrong. I don't care. I don't remember him there. We made the playoffs without him. Won 13 games without him. 13 because of the Dallas Cowboys game. And you know what? I'll drop that down to 12 because he was there for the KC game. But we'll give him credit for that one. But nonetheless, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is no longer a Detroit Lion. You guys can no longer unnecessarily fucking pole ride this man for being injured all fucking year. I don't, there's another thing too about it too, because I hated this part of it more than anything. Disrespect to Ofontu Melifonwu, who literally on film was fucking bawling out of his goddamn mind. Sack after sack, sacks and interceptions in the same damn games. And now you get to sit there and have people say, put Chauncey in over him. That doesn't mean he'd be rotation. We have Chauncey. He has playoff experience. Well, guess what? When Chauncey came back, guess who was still getting the starting reps? Guess who still was seeing majority of reps in the game? Ofontu Melifonwu. The coaches made the decision. Thank God that saga is over. And congratulations to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for getting the bag.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Brad Holmes, who you guys said, it's all about Brad. Trust Brad. Trust Brad. Keep that same energy when he doesn't return Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He didn't return Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He was going to pay a guy to come back here and be what was going to be a rotational piece in your secondary. Not a starter, not a star. A rotational piece in your secondary. That wasn't going to happen with the emergence of Ofontu Melifonwu. Respect the name, Ife Melifonwu. Remember for this year, too. If that misses, if he doesn't have a year like, which, by the way, I think he is, I think the only things that could stop him from doing that or becoming that is injuries, which are unforeseeable, which also Chauncey Gardner-Johnson dealt with his entire career. I don't think we've seen a full 17-game slot out of Chauncey Gardner yet. But thank God that saga's over, and congratulations to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on his up to $33 million.
Have fun in Philly, CJ, and fuck it. You can take the ski mask with you. Like
Yeah.
you can take that with you because that lasted 1 game in Detroit, and then it was played out. But I like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I like what he does on the field and off the field. But, yeah, we have a guy who this team, the head coach, the defensive coordinator, and the GM all value higher than him. And he's in that place for a reason. So,
yes. We have one in the chat, 313 Kurt. Rotational players don't get $33 million. Up to $33 million. Up to $33 million. Not $33 million. The possibility of making it $33 million.
I heard they added more hops to the mix.
Huh?
Super bad.
But, yeah, I mean, they quite literally do because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a rotational player last year, and now he got that deal. So, yeah, they do, actually.
And talking about a rotation, one of the guys that he was taking snaps from was Brian Branch, who was one of the best players on this defense the entire season. He had 27 defensive snaps against San Fran. Lowest it was all year long. And I think the writing was on the wall for CJ when he started celebrating early in that game where Brian Branch's snaps got limited and when he reacted to his pass with Deebo Samuel by taking a personal foul in the NFC Championship game. That is not a Brad Holmes player. You talked about the rotational stuff. The writing was on the wall from a mile away.
Yep.
There's not a chance this guy was coming back in my eyes.
Apollo says, y'all doing the same thing you did to Swift. Yeah, fuck them both. They don't play for us anymore. I hope they have terrible seasons. I hope neither of them make the playoffs. I don't give a shit about DeAndre Swift anymore. I don't give a shit about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson anymore. They're not Detroit Lions. They mean nothing to me now. Goodbye. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. No, let me say this real quick. I like that. I never had anything bad to say about DeAndre Swift. I think, actually, I went toe-to-toe with you and Flannel Sam defending DeAndre Swift before last year's Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
I like DeAndre Swift. And listen, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's good at times. But the fact of the matter is, he got sent back to the safety position because Brian Branch was outplaying him in camp. And then when he got hurt, Fonte Melifonwu outplayed him in the same scheme. It's not. I loved him at training camp. Like, yeah, I did like the acquisition of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It was a splendid surprise, especially for a team. Detroit Lions don't get big splash like signings like that, and what he was supposed to be. But when it got down to nitty gritty, Fonte Melifonwu emerged, and the same thing with Brian Branch. Situations change,
and they might be great players, but guess what?
Apollo.
We have better players who are cheaper, and this team values higher in those positions.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Better players, cheaper contracts, Papa John's.
Yes.
The other thing, too. All right.
My bitch is better, my fit better, my whip better.
And I don't know if this guy trolls, so I don't know if I'm just responding to like a troll situation, too, but I just know there's actual people who believe in this scenario here. And actually, 313 Kurt is one of them. But Apollo says, y'all being delusional. For every one of you that want to just praise Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as if he's like the best safety in the league, he's never made a Pro Bowl, never made an All-Pro. None of the above. None of the above. Was he good at what he did, especially in Philadelphia, the stacked roster 2 years ago? Absolutely.
For sure.
Was he good in another stacked roster in New Orleans? Absolutely. But he's not what you guys are making him out to be. He's more of like just in the media with
He's a good player.
Yes, and a good shit talker.
Yes.
He is. Both those things. And I think that's kind of got him overrated a little bit because when it came down the field, Detroit Lions, who are within a Super Bowl window, said, nah, Fonte Melifonwu was actually pretty fucking good. Brian Branch is actually pretty fucking good. We're going to roll with these guys versus kind of forcing you here to be a rotational piece because that's what he would have been, is a rotational piece. But we do got to go to break. I'll read some comments on that if you guys got some shit to talk. Hey, you know what? It's 313 day. Let's open up the phone lines and hear you guys talk. Eric Armstead, DJ Reader, CJDJ. Let's hear it all, but not before we hear Spenny.
A big boy. Seafood Fest is back, and big boy, catch it while you can. Dive into fish and chips, their new Parmesan crusted cod, perfectly fried clam strip platter, or delicious fish sandwich. A big boy must try the new mango iced tea, the ultimate compliment to their popcorn shrimp, shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy. And don't forget, every Friday night, the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. It's Seafood Fest, and it's at Big Boy.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices at all the conveniences of online and big box retailers with one major difference. They're family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years. They have 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local, curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
It is 313 day.
Steve-O Baby.
Phone number in the chat. Call in.
Eazy. I remember Spencer saying they should have kept C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Yeah, I did. And so did you. If you could get him on a good deal, yeah.
Why is it should? But I was like, yeah, in a good deal, yeah.
Yeah, so did you. If you could get him on a good deal, yeah, keep
I'd
it.
say it should.
But
you can get him on a good
they
deal.
couldn't. He wanted more money. We're not paying him that money. That's literally why we cut Tracy Walker, is because he was making too much money to be a backup. You don't pay a rotational piece or a bench piece that much money. If he would have taken the same deal that he got originally, yeah, they would have kept him, but he didn't want to.
Yep. And we do one more thing real quick, too. For 313, because 313 day, shout out 313 Kurt, says the only reason why he was rotational because he was hurt. No, by the time he came back, no. That wasn't the case in the NFC Conference Championship. We had blown coverage that he admitted himself and missed tackles and a stiff arm to freaking our guy Christian McCaffrey. Like, that's just not – we're not going to – you're so disrespectful to Afonso Melifonwu when it fucking
the reason
pisses
why
me off.
he stayed on the bench after he came back and was healthy and ready to play was because Ife Melifonwu was balling.
And confirmed, and you could watch the press conferences for yourself if you don't believe this story as well. Because the CJDJ is a little bit of a hothead, a little bit of a shit talker, and I don't want to say stirring up trouble, but they want to limit the shit talk within the locker room. Remember, he's fighting his own teammates too back in New Orleans. Still, he is good. I'm not saying he's not. But remember back before he came back, and in press conferences, AG was like, "Don't ask any questions about CJ. I don't want to hear any questions about CJ splitting time with Branch and or Iffy."
Yeah.
Literally before the press conference started, that's the comments he would make. And you go back and you caught him before they even went live. Yes, that's because he didn't want to have to say it, and it be an issue in the locker room. He's gonna come back to rotation. These guys are playing phenomenal, Branch and Iffy, that is. But we do have our first caller, couple callers. Shout out to everybody, and happy 313 day to everybody here too. But what up, Nick? Who we got?
Yeah, looks like Kurt just dropped out. We got Ronan 99 to kick this one off.
Runyon, how you feeling,
what
brother?
up, man?
How goes it, guys? Happy 313.
Happy 313
Happy 313 to you too, man.
That's the place of my birth. So, my thoughts are fairly straightforward. Sign DJ Reader, then you add an edge in the draft. You draft an offensive lineman. But the key is like when and where you draft and who you're drafting. Unless you're moving up for like Mitchell, I don't see the purpose of moving up in the draft. But Kalen Carson's a DB I really like. In like that, our third pick. But our first two, I'm imagining, are going to be defensive line and offensive line, because we have to get a backup, somebody who can play center. Now we know that who did we just sign?
Amik?
Glasgow. We know that Glasgow. We know that, Glasgow can play center, but we need to add an additional offensive lineman who can play center as well at a competent level. I'm not talking about some bum we throw in for snaps, because that exchange and that positioning and that calling out defensive alignments and assignments is critical for the center. So I'm all for getting two solid pieces out of our first two. After that, I have no idea what Brad's going to do. But if you remember, this is the same guy who wore a villain T-shirt to last year's draft, okay? And everybody thought he was crazy. People were like, well, what's that about? Blah, blah, blah. A few months later, guess what? He stole the draft. So I'm excited about this draft, looking forward to it, especially if we sign DJ Reader, because it really changes what we can do with our draft selection. So good show today, guys. Everybody stay positive.
Oh, yeah,
man.
Appreciate you, Runyon. Appreciate you,
Appreciate you, man.
And he's right. That's exactly what I think is going to go down as well. I think they're going to get defensive and offensive line in their first two picks, and then the rest of it, you just got to go after best player available. I mean, I think they're going to go best player available either way, But I definitely think with some of those top picks, they're going to get some of those big uglies on the offensive and defensive line.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to make a comment to Jeff Olson, Woodward Sports Chat, and probably something 3-on-3 Kurt was looking to say when he called in, that Chauncey and Iffy are different players, and if he's more of like a coverage, or Chauncey more of a coverage. No. Because Fonte Miller, we have him. Kurt, call back in. Is that where you're in here? Regardless, I was gonna say thank you, Nick. Fucking interrupting me. I don't even remember what to say. Oh, Fonte Miller, former cornerback. Like you want to talk about like having better coverage skills. He used to play like the outside cornerback. That's what he was drafted. I feel like he was drafted to be a safety at the NFL level, but like no, he has coverage skills too. Don't forget the pick that sealed the NFC North was the Fonte Miller foul. The plays he made in the Denver Broncos game. Like he's good in coverage too. It's disrespectful and really just like drives me crazy.
No, but Runyon's right. They're definitely going to address the lines, both the interior and defensive line.
Yes.
Or the interior offensive line and the defensive line. And then, Brad does. He gets best player available. He goes after the guys that he wants, and he's going to find them.
Who we got, Nick?
All right, we're going to go out to Clinton Township. We're here with Ryan. You're live on air.
Ryan. What up, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Thanks for calling in. Happy 3-on-3 day.
Yeah, happy 3-1-3 day. So the big thing that I just keep on playing over in my head is that everyone wanted L'Jarius Sneed, and I wanted him too. But now we have two guys in Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson that are both solid guys, and they're coming in at a cheaper price tag combined than we would have gotten with L'Jarius Sneed. So I feel so much more confident in these two guys over the course of a whole season than I would relying on one big name guy like Sneed.
Yeah, and honestly, like if you were, and I don't know if you were listening live while we had him on, but we had John Costco from PFF on, and he made a point that I made last week too. Is like in the modern era, like one great receiver, it's great, and maybe you might win some games, might go to the playoffs. But what's winning football in today's NFL is multiple receivers, like a platoon of wide receivers. And what John brought up and what I brought up last week is, you'd rather have me personally. I'd rather have the depth across the board to cover these wide receivers. And I'm talking about situations like now probably Seattle is one I'd point out too. But I guess in terms of like winning and going to the Super Bowl, you want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, Higgins, Chase, Boyd. Like you need a platoon of cornerbacks to address that, and we have just that. Like I don't know what to expect when he does come back healthy, but I hope it's something. And Emmanuel Mosley coming back from his second torn ACL. But that's another guy in this roster that we brought back that people are forgetting about as well too, along with these other additions. It's almost like a guy, because we didn't really get to see him. So in a way, it still feels like a new acquisition, talking about Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah, no, I'd still rather have L'Jarius Sneed. Like, I'd still rather have that guy than three other, because you can fill depth. You can get depth in the draft. You can get depth with cheaper pieces. But I'm happy with what we got. But if you're asking me which one I'd rather have, it's L'Jarius Sneed.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Ryan.
No.
Oh, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I just feel, as an entire unit, our full DBs are going to do the job, especially when we upgrade the defensive line too. Their whole defense as a package. They might not be the best in the league, but they're going to get the job done for sure.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Let's go to a quick break here, and when we get back, take a couple more calls. And I actually have a theory as the
oh god
to Brad Holmes. I think he believes in his philosophy. Actually, there's a couple of things. We'll do when we get back. But first,
let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. Guardian offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. No, Guardian Alarm will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security is their technology. It's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800
Stay Out.
That's 1-800
Stay Out,
and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. How would you like to win Not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice. One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Visit Dispo Dispensary today because March Madness is officially here. Dispo is giving away $1,000 to the best bracket at each location. That's up to $12,000 if you got it like that. Stop by each Dispo location. They got one in Battle Creek. There's one in Romeo, open to midnight. Whitmore Lake, Hazel Park, Bay City North, Bay City South, Ann Arbor. Dispo Dispensary just got done sending the guy to the big game, if you know what I'm talking about, wink, wink. And they also put $1,000 in your pocket. Just make sure you get your best bracket to them by St. Patty's Day on March 17th. Secure your entry for a chance at that $1,000. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
The large game.
The large game.
The big old game.
Yeah.
The huge game.
I got nothing. Huge. Who do we got on the phone lines? Wait, Nick, I want to get him in real quick because I got a theory as to why we're not spending so much money.
Yeah, we got Papa E calling from San Francisco, California. Papa E, you're live.
San Francisco.
Big Papa.
San Francisco. What up, though? What up, though, y'all?
Happy 313 day,
Hey, man, I'm over here at the happy 313 day. So I'm from Michigan. I'm from Grand Rapids. I just moved out here a long time ago, man, California. I stayed in Sacramento and all that. But anyway, we're going to get straight to it, man. Number one, I'm at the DMV. I'm bored as hell. Don't worry about nothing, though. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get this, handle business. You know how that go. But no, look, we're going to get to this football talk, man. Check it out, man. I like anybody that they get because at the end of the day, if they can do that again and get us where we got to last year,
yes.
I trust them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to all that other stuff we had going on, man. You remember we had Michael LaShore, our running back, and we still made it to the point. Like, come on, man. Forget all that. That was like a good, but like, come on now type of stuff. And two, I don't care about no CJDJ. He can take his behind back to where he was at. You feel me?
Yeah.
We're not worried about Swift. We're gonna smack him because he want to come to the Bears. So he want to get beat up by the Lions. I see what he's got going on. He want to keep getting hit over there. Exactly. And yeah, man, we gonna bolster our squad. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about anything. I trust them. I like the picks they got already. I like Carlton. I like the cornerbacks. That was our problem. And then like everything else was really cool. We need probably a linebacker, and like somebody else to go with Aiden. But we don't really need to be like, oh, we need a solid A1 guy. We just need somebody to, you know, kind of switch in and out. Like maybe like 2 good linemen that could kind of switch in and out, you know, to help Aiden that way. You know what I'm saying? Like a linebacker that'll cover, because we don't need the tackling is pretty solid. We just need to cover because that's our problem is covering. We could tackle and really we really did great with all of that, but covering was terrible. Man, it seemed like every pass that went up got caught by the other team. Like, come on now. So I'm glad that we building it. I trust them. And, yeah, man, shout out to them. I fuck with y'all, the big heavyweight, you feel me? Big D energy, all of that, man. Woodward Sports, shout out to y'all, man. And by the way, the mustache is fire, man. Don't let them tell you nothing else, you feel me? The mustache is fire, yeah.
I appreciate you, man. That was a great call. Thank you for calling in, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm glad we got
You
to that
too.
one.
Yeah.
It was gas. Thank you, E.
Love that energy, man.
All right, so
Legend.
Absolute legend. Complimenting mustache, so I know you felt that way. Real quick. And I want to give a shout out to DNC ENT because he's the one who.
Imagine the dude sitting next to him at the DMV, like, man, what the fuck?
Whose mustache he just complimented. But shout out to DNC ENT because he's the one that hollered at me on Twitter and asked this question, and I didn't even want to bring it up because I didn't want to believe it to be true because it kind of churned my stomach a little bit in terms of building that super team or just maintaining what we have right now. But DNC ENT asked the question to me on Twitter, and he pretty much brought up the cash over cap scenario. And if you guys aren't familiar with the way these teams continue to kick the can down the road, it's because they have ownership that has the money to make these signing bonuses to pay these players up front.
Yeah.
And they have these void years, and they just keep. That's how they that bonus doesn't hit the cap right away. They extend it to these void years and whatnot. But you have to have the cash up front to pay it, and or the money in escrow to pay it year after year. And again, that's something that these big market teams, Jerry Jones, Sam Walton.
Yeah.
Or it's not Sam Walton, but whatever Walton owns the Broncos right now. Yeah, as you see them, the Walmart men. And who's the other one I missed? Sam Kroenke. Yeah. Like the teams that obviously the New Orleans Saints owner kind of going crazy with it too. Mm-hmm. The teams that are doing these things that keep maneuvering the cap and keep on bringing like a bunch of players on, and like how the fuck are these guys maintaining this? And we're over here struggling with the $40 million we have in value, like available cap space to work with. Their owners have the cash on hand to give these signing bonuses to then prorate throughout the cap.
Yeah.
ENC asked the question if is that maybe something that the Lions aren't working with here in Detroit. Is Sheila
I'm pretty sure that Sheila's got the cash. If Sheila wants to make it happen, she can make it happen. I'm pretty comfortable with the amount of money that Sheila Ford Hamp has. I think she'll be able to spend cheddar with other people. So I'm not too worried about that. I just think this is Brad Holmes, and he's not getting down like that.
What? Brad?
Yeah, he's not going to be overpaying for these guys. He's not going to be bringing these guys in. We'll wait until we see, the Amon-Ra St. Brown deal, what that looks like. That'll be the first really taste we have it, if that's true or not. If Amon-Ra St. Brown gets that fat signing bonus and then it's prorated throughout the cap, that would make a big decision, or that would make a big lean either here or there on that fact. On top of that, next year when you got the Penei Sewell deal or the Jared Goff deal, we're going to see how those go, because those are the big contracts. We haven't signed anybody worth prorating your bonus throughout the cap because you haven't had to with the deals you've been signing.
And the teams we've had, too, it's like, bro, it's fucking worth re-signing.
Yeah, there's been nobody really worth that money, but when you see the guys we have coming up, these deals we have coming up and coming down the pipeline, these are going to be the deals where you have actions like that, where you see Amon-Ra St. Brown sign, his cap hits $1 million for his first year, but that's because he got $30 million of it in a signing.
Congratulations, you just got Amon-Ra St. Clown.
Tiptoey and weird when you have the available cap space, and if that's the scenario with Sheila, because at the end of the day, salary cap is a thing, but it's somewhat mythical in the sense that, like, if you have the money and then the accounting, like the people with the brains big enough to like operate it that way, you can manipulate the salary cap to do whatever the hell you want, and that's what we're witnessing happen before our eyes with the LA Rams and the Saints and everything else. It's just like you have to have the money to do it, and they're not doing it, and they have the available cap space. That's the part that confuses me.
Do it with yet.
But I don't know, man. I really can't say that they do. I really can't. Like, it's why we have it available right now to do something. Either they don't have it. They don't want to do it.
Who are they going to do it with? Daniil Hunter? Are you still? You're still freaking out about? Listen, man.
No, I'm not
Daniil
about
Hunter
that.
wasn't going to happen. Is he in the room with you right now? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, would that have been nice? Yeah, but they got outbidded.
They're known for. Found on road dead. That's like the thing they say around here.
Hey, relax.
I'm just saying they got bailed out by the government.
That happens to everybody.
I didn't get bailed out by the government.
You do every year. It's called taxes. But no, we'll see. The Amon-Ra St. Brown deals, those deals are going to be the big indicator of it.
And the one thing where I'll kind of like side with you is a tweet that I just saw from, and shout out to Poole for sending this one. It's from Jeremy Reisman.
Shout out Jeremy Reisman.
We talk about Brad Holmes and the affinity. Anyone who disagreed with Spenny with that take, by the way, you're absolute slob knocker on Brad Holmes' knob there, because this is insane. He does have an affinity for injured players, so much so that these are the rules the Detroit Lions propose be changed in the NFL.
Of course.
I'm gonna have you read them out because you got the good eyes.
Ethan's can't read. One.
Well, that's
eliminate requirement.
Cancel Spencer.
Eliminate requirement for a player to be on the active roster for one-day return cutdowns to be eligible for IR return. 2, allow for unlimited IR2 returns. And 3, move back trade deadline with 5 other teams. So they want to move back the trade deadline, and 5 other teams agreed with that. Unlimited IR returns is crazy.
That's what these are rules that he's proposing to change.
It's fine.
Everything to do, and Nick, you missed it. If you want to throw it back up there, or you could just, whatever you want to look at the tweet, I put it in Slack if you're in there. They're literally proposing rules to help them manipulate the roster spots with all the guys they're going to have on IR.
Yeah, you'll literally just have a dude walking around the locker room like, all right, we need to open up a spot. Who's going on IR for a week? I'm going to break one of your ribs, buddy.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, honestly.
That is wild, and obviously it coincides with a lot of moves that Brad Holmes and Detroit Lions are making, DJ Reader included. Happy birthday 313 Kurt, and yeah, make sure you hit that follow button.
Happy birthday 313 Kurt.
It is 313 day. That's a crazy birthday to have. Happy birthday 313 Kurt.
No.
It's probably not. What do you mean now? Maybe maybe that's why his name's 313.
Could be.
Partially the reason why. Yeah. Brad Holmes has an affinity with injured players.
Yes, he does.
And they're literally proposing rules to manipulate the roster because of the affinity with injury players. But is it an affinity with injury players, or like he's just discount shopping all the fucking time?
It's both. He's Macklemore, man.
'Cause it feels like both.
He buys low.
Do you think Brad Holmes is a guy that like got injured in the past, and he's like, everyone deserves a second chance here, a third chance, a fourth chance? Like,
if it wasn't for my knee, we would have won states.
Exactly. Close the yearbook, Brad. Maybe everyone doesn't deserve the. I don't know. Hopefully everything works out.
I would have been all state, but it tear my meniscus.
Yeah.
Close the yearbook, but hopefully one of the guys that we did bring in is Davenport. Super high upside, but I just don't know if he could ever stay healthy. Just like Mosley, bringing him back after 2 ACLs, like what? I don't know, questionable.
Yeah, it's just maybe if I go out there and break my leg, Brad Holmes will sign me at left guard.
You think he got one contract where he was signed to that was like because it was an injured prove it deal? He's like, oh, this is gold.
This will work.
This is gold, baby.
Brad is the Uncle Rico of GM, says Apollo.
Brad is the Uncle Rico. If Coach would have put me in the fourth quarter, we'd be state champs, no doubt.
Maybe that's why he's injured. Like he's signing all these players because he got injured himself.
That's literally what Nick just said.
I wasn't listening. I was reading comments.
God damn it.
I was reading comments. AJ Blair, and I don't know if he's trolling or if he's even talking to us, but he says, "What are y'all looking at when you come up with this BS?"
What the healthy player he signed?
You can't. There's no way you're talking to us.
You can't be talking to us.
Wait, Carlton Davis never finished out a full season. We just got the guy
Marcus
Davenport, who
Emmanuel Mosley
is always hurt.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Mosley
meeting with DJ Reader,
drafting Levi Onwuzurike with a bad back.
Josh Pascal
with the hip issue. With foot cancer.
JMO.
Jameson Williams with torn ACL. James Mitchell with torn ACL.
Yeah.
Where do you mean? What are we coming up with this BS? Where are you coming up with this BS? Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Like, brother, what are you? You can't be. There's no way in hell this guy's talking to us. There's absolutely, literally no way in hell he's talking to us.
Yeah, he can't be. But let me tell you to someone you can talk to, and that is the fine people at Les Stanford. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service the customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just off the 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn and Dane. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford, find new roads.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
How would you like to win $50,000? It's the Woodward Sports $50,000 Bracket Buster Challenge, brought to you by Glorious Cannabis, Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, and Sorokas. Crispy Chicken and Pizza. Register for your chance to win at any Lady Jane's or Soroki's location, or just scan the QR code right next to me. The shot clock is ticking. Register at WoodwardSportsBracket.com. That's the WoodwardSportsBracket.com, and you can be $50,000 rich.
Soroki's.
BP. Eazy. I am a woman. Sorry I didn't assume your gender, bro.
Wait,
Just kidding. I don't know. BP's a woman. I apologize, ma'am.
BP?
It's BP.
I wonder if that's who I know.
Yeah. Oh, I said my guy. BP. my girl. Because BP hit the Woodward Sports Chat with some facts and said, I don't know who they're arguing with, but they said they currently have, in all caps, 7 edge rushers under contract. But reality, like how many of those edge rushers are actually making the team?
How many of those edge rushers are worth a shit?
Yeah.
But speaking of worth of shit, I got some news that's worth of shit. Carlton Davis in his press conference said, "It's trending upwards. I would love to be a part of a dynasty where we can go and win multiple championships." Have you ever heard anybody say that at a Lions introductory press conference?
I mean, no.
No, you haven't.
No. Not the word dynasty.
Not multiple championships, not dynasty. Carlton Davis is like Miami, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. This is the sign of things changing, man. It's you got guys meeting with your GM in Detroit. You got guys talking about multiple championships at their introductory press conference. I love this, man. I love this. And hopefully Carlton Davis stays healthy all year. Hopefully Carlton Davis is the guy we expect him to be. And hopefully Carlton Davis has the game-sealing interception in the Super Bowl. So that'd be pretty damn sweet.
That'd be lit. That's the guy who won the Super Bowl, by the way, making that comment about this team. And obviously first day in the building. But, no, I mean, I like that that's the expectation. I like that he has a ring to show. I love both those things. Nick, you about to say something?
Yeah, I love both of those things as well. And you think about where did he play his last game of last season? Detroit. So he got the vibe from the fans as well. And like I said earlier, he makes you want to run through a effing brick wall, just like Brad and Dan. Specifically Dan here, but you know Brad likes to talk that talk
Brad
as
too.
well.
Brad be high-fiving fans. They're like,
Brad's
exactly.
You guys remember that video of Brad screaming in the elevator?
Yeah, exactly.
Even Chris Spielman was like, what the fuck, dude?
When the white guy's getting scared, you know something's going on.
It's facts. I love Brad Holmes, man. And this is what he's inspiring. This is what he's building. He's Brad Holmes guys.
Cam Sutton hates Lions fans trolling his Twitter. Come on, guys. Why we trolling Cam Sutton?
Yeah.
He's still part. He's going to be our cornerback too. Like he's still part of this team. Why you got to ruin this experience with the guy? Let him want to win for the city, please.
We like you, Cam Sutton.
Yes.
I feel like he did as admirable a job as you could have expected from him last year too. Like remember the first 8 weeks of season? I mean 9-10 weeks of season. We were talking about how great he was, and then he had the injury. Like I think he did very solid for what he was expected to be last year. So, yeah, I don't get with the Cam Sutton slander.
ECL with the Afonso Melifonwu hate. Iffy has been a non-factor majority of his time with the Lions. Yeah, he retracted that one. Message retracted.
Yeah, well, I mean, when he wasn't on the field, there's not much you can do when you're not playing.
He also went through like a position change there too, like learning the entire scheme. He also balled out of his mind for like multiple games, including the playoffs. Can we stop with the nonsense?
He
please?
did have the game-sealing interception in the Lions' first playoff win in 20 years.
Yeah. No, that was.
Was it the Rams or the Bucks where he had the interception?
It was Bucks. The Bucks.
Okay. Well,
but Barnes had the interception
second
for the Bucks.
In 20 years.
But he had the game-sealing interception for the first division win. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I love you, Cam Sutton. But I'm not reading the rest of that one. We love you, Cam Sutton.
We love you, Cam Sutton.
All right, we had no Cam Sutton beef over here. What else did I have in here real quick, too? Okay, this one. Actually, I did want to get to this. Mike Williams, released by the Chargers for cap reasons. And then they restructured Khalil Mack. Obviously, they're kind of good with there. All those guys are staying now. But Mike Williams, I saw our guy Adam try to dismiss that as a topic for the Detroit Lions. But it is not. It is not. One of the pieces the Detroit Lions departed with, or not departed with, but didn't re-sign before today, was Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, who played that X for the Detroit Lions, had that 6-foot frame, and ran those longer routes. The Detroit Lions don't have an X on this team currently. The Detroit Lions, at the draft combine, met with 3 wide receivers, 3 confirmed meetings with wide receivers. Like that means like official meetings. Each and every one of those wide receivers were 6 foot and above, 6'1" and above. Xavier Leggett, Devontae Walker, and Brian Thomas Jr. That fits the same description
as Mike Williams.
Yes.
And you know what's something that really would intrigue Mike Williams to the Detroit Lions? The guy gets injured every year.
Bingo!
The guy gets injured every year, so he's got to be on Brad's short list. Like,
he's also, and I don't know if it's different between the Russell Wilson contract and how this normally works out, but with him being released, I'm pretty sure, because of the signing bonus that we talked about beforehand, the cash over cap, he has that situation going on where the Detroit Lions can sign him to a discount, and he's still getting paid by the Chargers. Which, by the way, he should be on a prove-it deal. Just the amount of injuries this guy sees every single year.
they're not gonna sign Mike Williams.
I'm not even gonna go.
No.
There. I'm really
Hard
not.
pass.
Like I'm with you in the hard pass, but we know Brad's tendencies. He knows he likes to take these gambles on these injured not wide receivers, but just injured players in general. This could be one of those situations, and I'm not gonna. No, I'm not, because this is exactly what Brad Holmes likes to do. Mike Williams is a poster child of what Brad Holmes likes to sign. Literally, I am not gonna go there and say they're not gonna do it. I'm gonna say I won't be surprised.
They're not signing Mike Williams. I don't want them to sign Mike Williams. If you're gonna get a receiver, get one in the draft.
That's what you want.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm not going there. Well, I'll tell you, it's not gonna happen. Was the L'Jarius Sneed stuff that you thought was gonna happen? This literally is a poster child for the things that Brad Holmes likes to do.
Well, you thought Daniel Hunter was going to happen.
I did not think Daniel Hunter was going to happen.
Why were you so upset about it yesterday?
Because I saw his contract was $24.5 million, which was hella affordable.
Well, you obviously thought it was going to happen then.
Did not think it was going to happen.
Upset.
But it's definitely a possibility if you sign for $24.5.
Seeing all these average wide receivers get big money contracts, I'm not calling him average. He had a good season besides the last game, so maybe he is a little average. Josh Reynolds, do you guys think there's any chance he's coming back? Because he has such a strong rapport with JG.
I don't think so. You see, Kendrick Bourne got like $11 million this season. Josh Reynolds is Kendrick Bourne, if not better. So he's going to get around there. They're not going to pay him that.
Shift God, Hunter Renfrow, and Hollywood Brown out there. That's not happening. All due respect to those guys, I've always personally thought that Hollywood Brown's been like grossly overrated.
Dude can't catch a cold.
Hunter Renfrow and Hollywood Brown, description of those guys, short and fast. Again, I'll say this once more. The receivers they met with, the receiver they departed with, Josh Reynolds, 6 foot and above.
Yeah.
Devontae Walker, Xavier Leggett, Brian Thomas Jr., the guys they met with at the draft, 6 foot and above. They're looking for a guy to fulfill that X role. As much as those guys are out there and available, Shift God, that's not like what they're looking to acquire.
We don't need one of those guys.
And that's not what we need.
We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got Khalif Raymond. We got Jahmyr Gibbs. You got smaller, shifty, quick guys. You don't need 40 of those. You do need a big body receiver, though, but I think they find that in the draft.
That guy up north asked Spin Morex, I agree with drafting receiver over a free agent. Do you feel the same about defensive tackle and defensive end?
I think they should. I think they're going to draft a defensive end. I think they sign a defensive tackle, though.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I do think they're going to sign and draft people on that defensive line.
Keon Coleman fits, says Andrew Jones. So I like Keon Coleman, but I really think they're looking for a guy that's a little bit quicker. Although his next-gen stats for the routes ran at the combine were all top 5.
Yeah, he was the highest speed with ball.
I think what they're truly looking for, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess Jamo would fill that role. Yeah, Jamo could fill that role. But remember, DJ Chark used to catch a lot of deep balls, like his time here in Detroit. We didn't really see too many of those last year out of any of these wide receivers.
What?
Like just deep, like just 9 routes, just go.
Why do you think that is, Eazy?
Well, we didn't. He threw the Chark when he was here. Sometimes he missed them, but and obviously Jamo caught a few of them too.
Easy, take that back. Remember, Chark ran the wrong route.
Yeah, that was. You guys are fucking wild when you get to
wide open in that zone. He ran the wrong route.
Yeah, like
it's his fault.
Like when we watch Patrick Mahomes play and he's out there just running around till a guy gets open. Like, you throw it to the open fucking guy.
Yeah, that guy's not running routes at that point. He's just getting open.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking hell, man.
Bring back Chark for $4 million, says Steve Wells. Another Brad Holmes guy gets injured a lot.
Another Brad Holmes guy.
Is that what Brad Holmes guy actually is? Like, we know what Dan Campbell guy is.
Yeah.
But a Brad Holmes guy is just somebody who is riddled with injuries.
Wounded animal.
Facts. I mean, how about that, though, DJ Chark? At a discount, for sure.
Sure.
But also, I mean, I need to do homework on DJ Chark because I don't know if he finished out his season. If he didn't, I'm kind of
probably not. The dude is made of glass. Like, again, why he's probably going to be a Lion next year, but still, I'm good.
Eazy, are you ready to draft a receiver with our first pick? Yes. Yes, I am. At that point in the draft, at 29, I said this before, you're essentially working with like a second rounder that gets a 5th-year option. You can take whatever position, and I'm not mad at it. There's no positional value to me is no longer a thing at that point in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Positional value isn't a thing to Brad Holmes at all.
No,
Planet Fitness. Asshole. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Has a new ice water bubble hash pre-roll now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best canna experience. This perfect boost comes with the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flowers with only the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis, check them out at your local retailer or visit them at gloriouscanna.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live at WorldSports.com. This is the mailbag segment. Send the questions. I'm going to start this off. Actually, before I do any of that, Chris, you had a shout out you wanted to make.
Yeah, so I wanted to shout this out, 313 Day. We've referenced that a few times, but the Detroit Pistons, I know they suck, but they're doing something cool off the court. On the court, they suck, but off the court, they're doing something cool. And so
shout out Tom Gores. He does great things for the community, except put out a winner.
Foul. Exactly. But off the court, they did do this 313 Day. This is now teamed up with Big Sean and Royce the 5'9", a day honoring Jay Dilla, legendary hip hop producer, one of the greatest hip hop producers ever. So they are doing a Pistons and Jay Dilla capsule on sale now. You can get it at their shop. So I just wanted to shout that out because the proceeds do go to Jay Dilla's family, and Jay Dilla is a legend in the hip hop community. So I'm glad that they're doing this. They are really leading the charge. Not many franchises are doing this, and the Pistons are doing it, so they get credit for.
You don't know what's going on with the franchises.
Not a lot of credits, or not a lot of franchises are partnering with artists and and doing these kinds of things. So Detroit, they did it a couple years ago, which I want them to do again with certain artists from certain areas. But Detroit's really the only one that's been actively doing it. First with Big Sean, now with Royce 5'9".
The team sucks so fucking bad.
Yeah, you got to do something else.
The entertainment outlets.
It's still dope. Still dope.
All right, shout out to that. If you're down there in the game, make sure you check that out. Mailbag question from Zakwa before he went to break. He said, do you think the Lions sign a guard as insurance? Yes. I think they have to be honest with you. I can't say for sure because if like JPJ falls in their hands, or even Frazier, I think would be a blessing, and guys that probably be ready to go day one. But it's a very complex scheme. We talked about it yesterday with Al. We talked about Ted Wynn. Everybody across the league kind of knows that. I would feel better fit. I think they would feel better fit, especially within this window, grabbing the veteran piece until probably the rookie's ready to jump in and play. So I think they for sure should grab a guard.
On the flip side of that, though, Eazy, they did start Yodi in the NFC Championship
But he's
game.
been with the team for a minute now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that could be their veteran guard that they actually have faith to step in one game because they had faith to do it. They did have faith to do it.
No! God, no!
If they do go the rookie route, maybe they think that those guys are ready to step up in like a 1-game spot role. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Mailbag. Easy from now on. I'm going to trust the best source in the world, you and Spencer, with the Lions news. At least you guys know what you're talking about. Thank you, Easy and Spencer and Chris.
Shit, Nick. No.
Wait, why you say that?
Because he didn't name Nick.
Oh.
Thanks, Steve-O. Appreciate you, brother.
Shout out, Nick.
I think he's being facetious. I don't know, but still.
No, he's not. Steve-O's the man. Shout out to Steve-O.
Steve-O is the man.
Mailbag. Any new merch coming out for the heavyweights? So we
got. If we do,
we'll get in trouble. Straight up, we'll just get in trouble. Like,
yeah, we will get in trouble.
But man, I'll ask Stick if we could do it because we should be able to do it.
And when we did it the first time, we got to do it a different way.
Yeah, it's our first time doing
we
it.
bought all the merch and then we had to deliver it too.
Yeah, that sucks.
Hey, I got one. I'm wearing it Friday.
And that UPS bill was pricey, bro.
Yeah,
the USPS, I did not think that shit was gonna be that
I
expensive.
almost wore mine today. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow though.
Heavyweights one?
Yeah.
Honestly, that shit was fire.
I got a good shirt coming
Friday?
to you guys on Friday.
Huh?
I got a good shirt to wear on Friday.
You're gonna can you wear it tomorrow? Cause I'm gonna be gone.
Oh, you're not gonna be
Thursday
here on Friday?
or Friday.
Yeah. I'll wear
Are
it
we making Thursday a drink day then?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Hey, two things.
The world doesn't revolve around you, Chris.
It doesn't, but I just want to drink.
Always. No, I got a question.
It's actually got quite a hold on me.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with
I'm actually spiraling.
I'm actually struggling really hard. This is a cry for help.
Okay, two things that are going on. They're kind of opposites. The Pistons are favorites tonight, and the Red Wings have officially lost 6 games straight. Spenmo, thoughts on the Wings, and then you fellas kind of want to get a feel for this Piston game if we can cook up a quick parlay.
Yeah, Wings, that was embarrassing. Losing to the Sabres the way you did. You got to get your heads out of your asses. You need to win. We're going on an extremely tough road trip coming up pretty soon, so you need to win these home games. Or you can kiss the playoffs goodbye. Just flat out.
Are they officially the dead Wings? Is the playoff hopes over?
Dude, what? Jesus Christ, man. No, they're not the
That's
dead
what I've been hearing.
From who?
I gotta bring
12-year-olds on Twitter?
I gotta bring you guys what the city's feeling.
They still control their own destiny, so they need to go out there and win games.
I've been hearing it downtown.
They're fighting at morning skate today.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Like,
what D-Mac? Oh, D-Mac didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't see it. But
all right, on the flip side, something a little more positive. Pistons,
how is the
3.5 point
Pistons
favorites.
more positive?
Because they
Pistons
haven't lost
fucking
6
suck.
straight. All right, we're
They lost 28 in a row.
Not right now.
That's the past.
Pistons, 3.5 point favorites at home tonight against the Raptors.
What?
Anything? Yes, exactly.
Money
I got to
line,
bring it
baby.
up. It's about to be a tip off here in 13 minutes. 3.5 point favorites. Do any of you guys have a bet that you like in this when we cook up a little squat parlay?
Give me Oscar Thompson over on his rebounds, whatever it is.
All right, I like that. I just did a little bit
I
of
don't think he's played.
research.
Did he have like an illness recently or something like that?
Oh, then give me Oscar Thompson under on his rebounds.
Beef stew, 4 boards.
That's gonna kill you.
Who they playing? Who they playing against?
The Raptors, and they have given up 16.7 rebounds per game the last 3
Give me
centers
James
they
Wiseman, 10+ points scored.
Oh, you're a degenerate.
Don't
Give
say
me
that in
James
front of Chris.
Wiseman, 10 points scored.
Hey,
It's
DC,
gonna
if
happen.
you're in, send
Josh
yours.
Gibson is he's whispering him sweet nothings.
Beef stew, 4 boards.
bet on
Duran,
beef stew,
10.
man.
Don't bet on beef stew. And don't bet on James Wiseman.
Duran, 10 points. K20.
James Wiseman.
Ivy 10. That's the
What's
parlay.
James Wiseman's over under on points?
We don't know.
Probably non-existent.
Don't listen. This is wild.
Fontecchio 2 threes.
You ever Spencer,
Only on the
you ever
road.
see that tweet? Like it was at the beginning of the season where a bunch of NBA players were calling on the Kings, or a bunch of fans were calling on the Kings for messing up their parlays. And,
Yeah.
And who is it? Malik Monk goes, we don't give a F about your parlays. And then they're like, we can't even bet on you, sir. Sit down.
No, I didn't see that, but it's funny.
I just said it in the chat, and I'll say it again. During 14 rebounds at plus odds, take it. I believe it's like plus 145.
Give me
That's my lock.
give me Fontecchio 2+ threes. Give
like
me
Fettuccine.
Malachi Flynn 10 point. No.
Yeah, you're POS.
Give me Pistons to win the jump ball. Malachi
Yeah,
Flynn, 8
Malachi
points.
Flynn 8 points. Marcus Sasser 2 steals. Well, that'll do it for us today. Appreciate y'all tapping into the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. Make sure you smash that like button. For Eazy, for Nick, for Chris, I'm Spencer. We're the Heavyweights. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.